They're not fans. I love the fans, but not so much the dealers.
Should you be paying for a celebrity's autograph? Let's talk about it. So this is definitely a bit of a controversial topic, especially depending on what angle you're going at it with. What's actually really interesting is celebrities have obviously their very own opinion on this subject, and I want to show a clip. I actually just saw this of Mark Hamill commenting on it. So let's watch that clip real fast, and then we'll talk more about it.
Memorabilia has become such a lucrative business. They're not fans. They're people that, I'll sign something at Universal, and by the time we get home to Malibu, they're already on eBay. So I love the fans, but not so much the dealers. But you're trapped. What can I do? You know what the real telling is, how about a selfie? No, I want you to sign my lifesaver. See, a real fan would say, yeah, let's do a selfie. So
yeah, I think this is an interesting topic for the fact that, just to be straight up, I have paid for autographs.
Traitor!
I highly doubt I would ever, for where I live, I'm not going to run into any random celebrity and be like, this is my one chance. I need you to sign this so that I could sell it for $200 or whatever it is. And yeah, personally for me, if I happen to just run in to Mark Hamill or whoever, I would 100% want a selfie. I would not want an autograph.
Must get autograph!
I would want a selfie just for the fact of meeting them and the memory of meeting them. Let's talk specifically about like Comic-Cons or expos and stuff like that. These big lines of celebrities, and they're charging $60 to $200 an autograph.
What did you say?
And I understand why certain celebrities, like say Mark Hamill, charges a lot for an autograph, just because most likely that person's going to take it and then go sell it on eBay or whatever. So essentially, they're basically writing them a check is what it is. They're not there because they're fans. No, they're basically there to get paid is what it is.
That's why you want it.
And if you've ever gone to a Comic-Con or some type of fan expo, you've seen this person where they walk up to the table with, like, say, let's just say, for example, like 10 Funko Pops. They're not putting those on their shelf. They're taking them and selling them for like 2-3 times the price on eBay. So yeah, I 100% see where Mark is coming here. So yeah, honestly, I can say I agree with that. I've been to these Comic-Cons, these fan expos and stuff like that. I can see the look on these celebrities' faces when that guy plops a box on the table and they're signing 10, 20 items. They can tell that this person really doesn't care. They don't appreciate their work. They're not fans of the movie, the TV show, whatever it might be. So I think that does come down to intent. What are you intending to do with, asking for an autograph? I'm not going to meet any celebrities randomly in public, but if I did, I would, 100% want a picture with them. That's what I would want. I wouldn't want an autograph. I would want a picture. The way he said it is perfect. Like, he can tell that if he's like, hey, I'll take a picture with you. Let's take a selfie. And they're like, oh, no, I'd just rather want an autograph. You can tell they're not there genuinely because, they're meeting Mark Hamill. I do pay for autographs. I will say that. So I've been to several fan expos and I've paid for autographs. Here's my reasoning behind it. Here's why I've done it, is because...
Explain yourself.
Because I am a fan. I am a fan of Star Wars, and I think it's nice to add that to my collection, and it's nice to appear that up there. And it does remind me of the time where I met, so-and-so celebrity.
That's a rich, meaty, juicy answer.
And this could just be the photographer part of me, is that I would want that. When it comes to pictures, I would want a selfie or a pose like, hey, can you take a picture of me and Mark at the cafe or wherever it is we're at? I like genuine, but I don't necessarily like portrait photography. I personally don't do portrait photography. Nothing against it. I just don't necessarily like those types of photos where there's a backdrop and, you're just like shoulder over and you're just posing for, a picture. And again, nothing wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Like, if you're fans of that and that's what you want, by all means do it. It's just not for me. And I do remember, for example, I met Alan Tudyk, the voice of K2SO, or the actor, I should say, of K2SO, and many other voice characters. And I actually had a poster that I drew myself. It was a piece of art that I drew myself. And honestly, I would say of all the celebrities I've met, Alan Tudyk was actually one of the best, because most often you only get 30 to 60 seconds with these celebrities, to get their autograph. But we actually probably talked with them for 2 or 3 minutes, and we just had a fun, quick conversation. The actual transaction, I am giving money and you are giving me an autograph. That's the technical transaction of what's going on here.
Technically speaking, yeah.
But personally for me, I'm not there for the autograph. I am there for the experience. I'm not necessarily there for an autograph. I'm not necessarily there for a picture. I am there for the experience because, I'm a fan of this person, whoever it might be, and I want to meet them. And unfortunately, in order to meet them, there's a price tag on that, either paying for an autograph or a photograph. And again, just personally for me, I like an autograph. I like having, again, whether it's a lightsaber, a mask, or something like that, I get to put it up on my shelf. And that reminds me of my tiny little experience with this, this actor. That's my intent behind it. That's my purpose behind it. Again, I just kind of have something against, kind of just doing that portrait photo stuff. Not that it's not fun. I totally get it. Like that's why I would love to have a photograph. If I met Mark Hamill at a cafe, I'd be like, yeah, I want a selfie with this person. I don't care about an autograph. It's because it's a more genuine, that's the thing, it's a more genuine picture. It's a more genuine experience and a remembrance of that time. I mean, me paying to get a photo with Hayden Christensen with a backdrop or whatever, where we say hi real quick, we look at the camera, take the picture, look back, shake your hand, and then walk away or something like that. If that's what you gain the most, by all means, I am not judging that in any way.
You judging me, bruh?
But personally for me, I just like seeing the autograph on something. For example, Mark Hamill, his Luke Skywalker lightsaber. That means a lot to me. And I have no intention of going and selling that whatsoever. And again, I totally understand where Mark's coming from, where he basically just feels like an autograph machine, or basically in a way, almost like a bank, just basically signing a check for them to go off and sell it. I totally understand that. And for example, the last expo, I have a couple here. This isn't everything, but for example, I met Ashley Eggstein and I've always wanted her autograph, Ahsoka's lightsaber right here. So I got that with her. I mean, it stands true. Like, she is the most absolute sweetest, just genuine, loves the fans. Like, she loves Star Wars. Like, she's obviously a super enthusiastic about Star Wars. She loves the fans. And again, when I went up to that table, I mean, yes, the actual technical transaction is,
Technically speaking,
I am giving you money and you are giving me an autograph. That is the technical, if it was on paper, transaction. But personally for me, I'm paying for the experience because I want to meet them. I have like 2 or 3 questions that I can quickly ask them. It all comes back to that. What is your purpose? Why are you purposely driving out hours away to some convention center to make money? Or are you going there for the experience? I personally don't like seeing people do that as well. Again, handing a box of items, because that person's just going to go take it and sell it for $200-$300 on eBay, and it's not cool. And this is when I got signed, was Anthony Daniels. And so got his signature right here. Was so excited to meet Anthony Daniels because the absolute best fan experience, because he loves Star Wars. He loves the Star Wars fans. And he is there. He gives you the fan experience. That's the thing. Like, and that's what I'm paying for. I am going there for the fan experience. When he came out, he walked, like, he didn't just go to his table. He walked kind of through the line a little bit, high fives here, high fives there, and just giving the fans exactly what they were hoping for.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Just that full-on Star Wars fan experience. And I even saw a video recently of him, and I'll see if I can find it, but I saw this video where he actually went, his line must have been really short at the time, maybe it was like later in the day, but he actually left the table and then stood in his own line to get autographs for Anthony Daniels, aka C-3PO. So he stood in line for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in the middle of all these fans, and nobody recognized him, at least right away. Nobody recognized him. He would like tap on them and be like, oh, who are you here to meet? And that's why I was so excited. Like, when I look at this, that's what I remember. I remember the absolute fan experience that I got meeting Anthony Daniels. Again, it was short. I mean, there was all that stuff before getting to the table, but he gave you exactly what you were hoping for. Don't get me wrong, I definitely do want to get pictures. I think I do actually agree. I will agree with that I think pictures are technically
speaking,
at least a little bit more memorable. Try not to be a broken record. It comes back to that. It comes back to, what are you there for? Are you there for money, or are you there for an experience? And fortunately, that's the bad thing, is because there's these, scalpers or, resellers or whatever you want to call them, is that's why certain celebrities have their prices so high, unfortunately. Just because he knows if he's only going to charge $50, just for a simple autograph, people are going to, come to a table, with 50 items for him to sign. And so unfortunately, because of that, true fans like myself,
I'm a fan.
when I want to go and meet these people, again, I'm paying for the experience. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more of a deeper cut into my wallet. And I even thought that the last show I went to, I thought, if these scalpers or whoever you want to call them, if they weren't going and just making industry off of reselling, signed merchandise, it honestly probably wouldn't cost as much. I mean, everything you do costs money to do it. You have to take probably time off work, maybe. You have to pay to fly. You have to pay for your hotel. You have to pay for the Uber to get there. You have to pay the Uber to leave. You have to pay to actually get into these events, which also involves waiting like 2 hours in line just to get your ticket, and then another 2 hours in line just to get into the event, and then another 2 to 4 hours just to get the signature. So, I mean, it's a lot of work to go do that. But personally for me, I love the experience of doing that. Obviously, it sucks waiting in line that long. But again, I'm doing it for the experience. I mean, another one that I got last time was I'm a big fan of the Halo franchise and Halo 3 specifically. And I got both Steve and Jenna to sign my original Xbox 360 game of Halo 3. So it was all for the experience. Okay, it looks like my camera actually died and it's 100% full because I filmed like 3 different videos today. But again, let me know actually in the comments what you guys think. What would you rather get? Going to a Comic-Con or an event like that, some type of convention, would you rather get an autograph or would you get the picture? And then also the second scenario is if you met them at a coffee shop, what would you rather get, the autograph or the picture? Personally for me, I kind of lean a little bit more towards the autograph as far as at the convention. The autograph is just a little bit more meaningful to me, just seeing it up on, my shelf. Instead of seeing a picture there, I see the autograph and it reminds me of that experience. But then again, in a coffee shop, 100% the picture. So, but again, let me know in the comments what you guys think and I'll see you guys next time. Instead of seeing a picture there, I see the autograph and it reminds me of that experience. But then again, in a coffee shop, 100% the picture. So, but again, let me know in the comments what you guys think and I'll see you guys next time.